we should use the liquid medias because the axillary bud of the sugarcane are very delicate. We cannot insert it into the solid, semi-solid media, and in liquid media, we can provide it with constant aeration. The process he told. Then he told the type of bioreactors that we can use. There were three type of bioreactors, that is Rita, SITS, and self-built bioreactors. Then he talked about aeroponics, and then quality of micropropagation process, quality of micropropagated products. He talked about the process as well as the product. Then he gave a gist of how we can use ornamental plants for micropropagation and what scope it has in the current market. That's it, sir. And then he solved the queries.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Thank you, sir.
How do you feel his lecture?
So his lecture was very nice, and I know Dalvi sir personally also.
Oh, very good, very good.
Thank you, sir.
So I think such type of the feedback we are expecting from this training program. So maybe tomorrow, whatever the Dr. Ajay Singh sir will tell, so you have to narrate somebody before the tomorrow's lecture. So before this, so the today's speaker is Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh. He is from the NIASM Baramati, that is National Institute of the Biotics Test Management, that is which is situated at the Malegaon, Baramati. He has completed his MSc in botany at the Devi Ahilya University, Indore, and he has completed his PhD also in the same university in the life science in 2001. As far as his employment record is concerned, presently he is working as a senior scientist, and I am very happy to say that yesterday only he have given the interview of the principal scientist. So hope that we are giving all the best to him for this. After that, he has previously from 2008 to 2012 he has done the postdoctoral research association in the Department of the Pathology, that is the University of the Kentucky, Lexington in USA. There he has worked on the reverse genetics approach to identify the novel genes and determine the gene functions for utilization in soybean crop improvement. Before this 2006 to 2008, he was a postdoctoral scholar at the Department of the Plant and Soil Science, that is the University of the Kentucky, Lexington, USA, and he worked on the applications of the egdrinosone-based gene features for use in the plants. He has handled the projects also, that is externally funded project, that is from the NASF, then the ICR, then the ICR, the extra mural research project from the 2015 to 2016. He is a member of the different societies also. He is a member of the American Society of the he is a member of the American Phytopathological Society USA, member of the American Society of the Virology USA. He has written the number of the papers into the well narrated journal. He has also written the 2 book chapters also. As far as the achievements are concerned, he has developed the plastic transformation system in eggplant, developed the salinity and drought tolerant tomatoes in the pod A and the osmotin gene, developed the virus-induced gene silencing system in soybean, developed a novel ectosome receptor-based switches for the plant transgenomics, and he has got the US patent also for this. He developed the tobacco stick virus-based vector for the gene function studies and heterologous gene expression in diverse plants, and there's so many achievements in his name. So today we are very lucky. He has given the time to us, and he has shown the interest to interact with you people. So I'm very much thankful. I welcome to Dr. Ajay Singh sir, and I request him, please make the dialogue with our participants. Dr. Singh sir, please.
Thanks, Dr. Sabadekar, for nice introduction. So first of all, I thank all organizers and also for giving me opportunity to participate in this program for entrepreneurship. So I hope this topic which I am going to tell today will be very useful for students and other new entrepreneurs. So here you can see that I am going to talk about uh, production of pharmaceuticals employing plasmid transformation and also virus-based vector systems. So here you can see there are two approaches. One is plasmid transformation, another one. So, so here you can see that plastids are generally in prokaryotic in nature. So that's why it's very, if we target this one to make some pharmaceutical products in there. So it's very stable and also very efficient if you target plastids for transformation. And virus are like virus-based vectors is very important in the sense that if we express anything in the virus system, so that replicates very fast. So here you can see like plant cell structure. So it's very primitive, like it's for a student. So here you can see like many organelles, including nuclear, that chloroplast, mitochondria. So here you can see that here nucleus, and in nucleus only you can see either diploid chromosomes or maybe in polyploids, maybe hexaploid or like that. And here you can see many plastids, that chloroplasts. So in a cell around 100 plastids are there, chloroplasts are there, but only one nucleus you can see here. And if we talk about chloroplast DNA, so just you should remember that every chloroplast having their own genetic makeup. So that is we call chloroplast DNA. So about 100 chloroplast DNA per chloroplast. So that means in every cell almost 10,000 chloroplast DNA is there. But when we compare with nuclear, nuclear genome, that is only diploid or maybe based on polyploidy, maybe that may be hexaploid or tetraploid or like that. So that's why we are using, or people use, or maybe that many companies are using this system also for producing biopharmaceuticals. Because if we use this one, so we can get very high number of very efficient, very high level of proteins. That may be different kinds of proteins. I will talk later about that. So here more detail about chloroplast genetic engineering. So already I told you that it's prokaryotic in nature. So operon can be expressed. So operon means several genes at a time without any intergenic regions, like only exon will be there, no intron. And already I said that almost 10,000 copies per cell of chloroplast DNA. So that's why we get very high protein expression compared to nuclear transformation. And here you can see maternal inheritance. So that means, as you know, that chloroplast is not present in male reproductive parts. So we cannot see in male reproductive parts, like in stamen. So here you can see, and it's present only in egg, that female reproductive parts. And then multigenic engineering can be done using plasmid transformation. So we can target at a time many genes, because taking advantage of operon. So we can target many genes. That genes may be bacterial. If genes are bacterial in nature, so that expresses very well in the system, because it's already its nature is prokaryotic nature. So that's why if we target bacterial genes, so it's then we can get very good quality foreign proteins. And foreign proteins may be amino acid, many peptides, or maybe nowadays we can talk about antibody, antigens, many other things. Or some novel compounds also we can generate using plasmid or chloroplast genetic engineering. So here a question arises: is it possible to change chloroplast as biofactory to produce edible vaccines, antibodies, pharmaceuticals, antigens, and many more things? The answer is yes, you can do. So here you can see chloroplast without foreign proteins. That means these are non-transformed wild type without any modifications. So chloroplast without foreign proteins, as we see in plant cell in normal conditions. And when we go for plastic transformation, then we can get chloroplast, modified chloroplast, having novel molecules that may be vaccines, antibodies, pharmaceuticals, or many other things. So here you can see procedure, how we do chloroplast transformation. So we use one equipment, that is ballistic gene gun. So this one, ballistic gene gun, we use this one. It is required, it's compulsory to achieve or to do plastid or chloroplast transformation. So here gene of interest may be single gene, either we can target or we can express single gene to get single product as a protein or any other things. Or we can target multiple genes. Also we can get many proteins at a time. So here you can see gene of interest A, B, C, like that. And then this one gene delivery by bombardment. Then after bombardment, then we go for antibiotic selection, because if we don't go for antibiotic, then it's very difficult to select which one is transplasmic or which one is not transplasmic. So generally, whatever we get from plastic transformation, we call it as transplasmic, not transgenic. For transgenic, generally if we go for nuclear transformation, then we call it as transgenic. But when we apply plastic transformation, then we call it as transplasmic events. Then here you can see, then after selection, plants regenerated and non-transformed will die. And here you can see some more detail. So here we are transforming plastids. These are all chloroplast. So you can see here initially only few plastids get transformed, and these are non-transformed. And after many round of selection, then you can see all plastids are transformed. Means all these will be degenerated and then transformed plastid will be replicated. So here you can see all. So this one homoplasmy and this one heteroplasmy. So for success of plastid transformation, homoplasmy condition is very essential. If you don't get homoplasmy, then plants will not be fertile. We will not get seed and we will not get product. At this condition, we will not get product. So we should have this kind of system. So here some more detail about gene expression vector employing chloroplasts. So this one nothing but that chloroplast DNA, chloroplast gene, one like some fragment of chloroplast genome. Here I am showing only one segment, but in plant system you will see that circular, like in prokaryotes we see circular DNA, so like that here also, but we can see only here this much, but it doesn't mean that it's not circular. And this one flanking region. So these are flanking region, all genes associated with plastid. Here we are not talking about any nuclear genome or cytoplasmic genome. So these are all flanking sequence. These may be flanking sequence. These are all genes, or some may be characterized and some may be not characterized. And here, and these are also flanking sequences. And then we know that every gene is expressed for expression of every gene, some promoter is required. So also here you can see plastid is specific promoters. We are not using any other promoters or any foreign promoters or promoters from like virus or anything. Here we are using plastid promoters already present in the system. Here also you can see all these are plastid promoters. So in the plastid transformation, generally we don't use many things from outside or from foreign system. Only thing you can use, just we use some selection marker. This one ADA. So this is from bacterial source. But there are many methods too. We can eliminate this one, AD or BADH. We can exclude this one. So and like here you can see for every gene, there will be 5' UTR. This one here 3' UTR and 5' UTR. So maybe it's maybe difficult to understand, but it's required. It's basic thing. We should have this expression vector. So generally we manipulate our that plastid genome in the form of vector. Just we can insert some target genes. Target genes may be single or maybe multiple based on our what we want to get. So here, how it works. So they are all transformation vector, different kind of transformation vector. So this one actually vector, whatever we have made. This one generally we modify plastid genome as a vector, and this one native without any modification. This one plastid DNA, not modified. This is present in the system. This one not modified one, and we modify and we develop vector. So generally we have this one in the laboratory or in the tiny tubes, Epidoc tubes. We have this one, but we don't have this one. This is in the plant system. So and how this works? So when we do bombardment or when we go for a plastid transformation, then homologous recombination occurs. Homologous recombination. So this will be replaced by this one. So here you can see this one gene, and here another gene. So these whole things can be replaced by this one, and then we will get like this. Here you can see this one all replaced by homologous recombination. So we will get like this. Product will be like this. And another one. So here insertional mutagenesis or deletional. Here we can generate mutations. Like here native genes, we can insert some genes. Here we can insert some genes. That is insertional mutagenesis. Or and what will happen next? If you insert anything here, then this gene will not be functional, because we are integrating this one in the middle. Then it will not. This gene will not be functional. That's why it's deletional mutagenesis. So some portion of from here is deleted, and this gene is no longer active or no longer functional. So this one deletional mutagenesis. So here you can see two approaches. One is insertional mutagenesis, something we are inserting here, but it will be okay. This will express ADA will be okay, but this one and this one will not be okay. Another approach like replacement. This one can be replaced by this one. Here we are not inserting anything or here. We are replacing this one with this one. And how it will happen? So through homologous recombination. And then here integration of transgenes. So this one is useful for pharmaceutical production or any novel kind of protein production. So here you can see you can integrate some genes here, gene X. This one marker, it is required. Then only we can differentiate transformed one, which one transformed one and which one is not transformed one. So for that one we need marker. Here also everything in every aspect here you can see we need marker. Marker will be there. Without marker, we cannot differentiate whether we got transplasmic events or not. So there are three. These are different approaches of plasmid transformation vector development system. And here you can see advantages of various advantages of chloroplast transformation. So already I told that almost 10,000 copies of chloroplast DNA present in every cell, while only either 2 sets of chromosome or maybe 4 sets, 6 sets or 8 sets. So based on almost we get many fold high protein expression if we go for chloroplast transformation. And multi-gene engineering, taking advantage of operon, we can engineer many things. That is many genes at a time. So multi-gene engineering. Maternal inheritance, it's present only in egg cell, not in male reproductive parts. So that's why it's maternal inheritance, and there is no issue of gene flow or contamination to other crops or weeds. And here you can see gene flow containment, already I talked about this one. No pleiotrophic effect. When we go for nuclear transformation or that is normal one agrovector mediated transformation, so if we integrate one gene, so that affects expression of other genes. So that is pleiotrophic effect. No position effect, because we are targeting at a specific location through homologous recombination. So no position effect. Position effect means so our target gene will not be integrated anywhere in the middle of the gene. So other genes will not be affected. So no position effect, no gene silencing. Generally, if we target one gene, we integrate one gene, so that affects or silence another gene. So here no gene silencing effect if we go for chloroplast transformation. So here plastic transformation system in brinjal. So this one I developed by me in 2010 when I was working at NRCP IRI. So I developed a plastic transformation system in brinjal, and all we eat this one. So that's why we can use it as a edible vector. If we are successful in generating some vaccines in brinjal, so then that can be used as a edible vaccines, because we eat brinjal. So for that one, so these are explants. If we excise some plant parts, here you can see some stem fragments, so that is called explants. And then after this one, just we keep it here for 2 days, then we spread it before bombardment. And after bombardment, then we go for some selection. So here you can see selection. Here it's regenerating, and here it's dying. So then after this one, then it will grow like this. And this is transplasmic events or plastic transformation events. So this one transplasmic. Again I am saying it's transplasmic, it's not transgenic. If we use nuclear transformation or agrovector mediated transformation, then that is called transgenic. But here we are using plastic transformation. So that's why transplasmic. Transplasmic. We are modifying plastic. That's why transplasmic. In transgenic, we modify nuclear gene, so that's transgenic. So this one transplasmic. Then you can see it's growing further, and we can get also fruits. And if we target, or if you are able to get some protein expressed, that protein may be vaccines or some other novel compounds, that may be antigen antibody. So then just we can either take it raw or we can cook, and then that can be like edible vaccines. Then here some selection. Here you can see wild type, all are getting like yellow because they are non-transformed. This one transplasmic, so it's all looking green. So some more examples of genetically modified plasmid genome, which can be used for production of like edible vaccines or antibody. Like this one tobacco. Tobacco we cannot eat or we cannot consume. So here we can use some novel compounds for some medicine purposes. But for tomato, soybean, lettuce, brinjal, we can target these plants for edible vaccines or antibody. And for soybean, if we target soybean, then we can get oil transformed with some novel biomolecules. So these are some future goals what we can achieve in the future. So metabolic pathways, like we can produce provitamin A and we can eliminate vitamin A deficiency or maybe that night blindness kind of things. Vitamin B12, synthesis of polyunsaturated fatty acids. This one very important because this reduces like cholesterol or heart diseases. So polyunsaturated fatty acid, that may be omega 6 or omega 3. In the market you will see many omega 3 products are there. So that products can be generated in plasmid also. So omega 6 generally that oleic acid, and omega 3 that is linoleic acid. Then biopharmaceuticals and vaccines for human health. Many vaccines can be generated like HIV vaccines. Already some companies are generating using plasmid systems, and some human blood proteins also synthesizing in plasmid system. Then biofuels, we can generate biofuels also by targeting plasmid genome. So for biofuels or industry enzymes, cell wall degrading enzymes, we can express cell wall degrading enzyme in plasmid system, like cellulase or other pectinase genes. We can express these genes in plasmid system. So, and these are all like cellulase, pectinase required for degrading enzymes, degrading cell wall. That is required for biofuel. Then biopolymers can also be synthesized using plasmid system. So already many companies using this one. So my next approach is that we can also exploit viruses for production of biomolecules, because all we know that viruses has very high replication, and very rapidly we can get very huge number of or huge level of biomolecules. That could be enzymes, protein, vaccines, antibody, antigens, or many other things. So these are some process. These are cDNA library. So what is cDNA library? So cDNA, it is complementary DNA. So it is synthesized from RNA. So we synthesize. So just we extract all RNA, total RNA, and then we make cDNA. So these are all cDNA for different characters. So this one cDNA library. That's why we call it as cDNA library. So here you can see many thousands of cDNA for different traits. That may be seed color, oil quality, or maybe other things, plant height. That could be anything. So this one cDNA library. Then we clone in this cDNA in binary vector. This one binary vector. So or candidate genes may be single. So all that we need to clone this one or this one in binary vector. Then we transform bacteria with this binary vector. And then next step is then inoculate or transfer these transformed agrobacterium to plants. So agrobacterium that is used for transformation. So it causes it helps or it facilitates to integrate the DNA into plant genome. So agro inoculate, either we can agro inoculate with toothpick. Just we can dip this toothpick with solution of transformed agrobacterium. Then we can just punch this one, and then then we can transfer this one to these plants. Cotyledon is this is cotyledon or vacuum. Just we can up down, upside down, and this one your solution of transformed agrobacterium. This one transformed agrobacterium. Here you can see, and this one just upside down. So, and then here vacuum system, and then or agro infiltration through syringe. Either then also we can take this solution in syringe, and then we can like in the cotyledons, and then finally after 2-3 weeks we will get these plants having different phenotypes due to presence of different kinds of biomolecules. So here comparison of level of gene expression in like normal nuclear transformation and virus based transformation. So here you can see only one copy here you can see. Generally 2 copies are there. So you will get only few proteins if you go for nuclear transformation through agrobacterium mediated transformation. So this one all constructs. I am not going into detail. So first we need to make some constructs to get agrobacterium mediated gene transformation, and then this agrobacterium helps in the integration of that tDNA into plant genome, and then we get finally product of gene, that could be protein or any kind of thing. And here virus-based vector also, this one some target gene. So here you can see hello. Just I will talk to you maybe in later. Here you can see virus gene transfer after infection. It also takes help of plant system from some enzymes from nucleus, and then it replicates. Here you can see only one copy, but here you can see multiple copy. So then replicates, taking help of plant machinery, taking help of some gene products from nuclear genome.
National Institute of Biotic System Management.
And then you can see many-fold gene expression compared to nuclear transformation. Here only you can see just here indication of 1, and here maybe 12. So at least 15-16 times more expression or more level of proteins if we take advantage of virus-based system. So these are all some different kinds of viruses we can exploit to get pharmaceutical production, like tobacco mosaic virus, potato virus X, tobacco TRV. These are very efficient, and many more. It has many hosts. Then P-early Browning virus, and this one the bean pod mottle virus is specific for soybean and mung bean and common beans. Then barley style mosaic virus for like monocots, barley wheat, and Fescue-stain mosaic virus also for monocots, rice, maize, wheat. So taking advantage of these systems, we can produce pharmaceuticals in many host plants, starting from tobacco to some crops, or maybe some in horticultural crops also, or maybe some here you can see potato. You can get edible potato. So these are some take-home message. So you can get advantage. So plastic transformation overcomes environmental concern arises from nuclear transformation, because in nuclear transformation generally it's that GM type of nature. So that's the problem. if you target some herbicide or weedicide, so maybe if you target weedicides, so some weeds may become super weeds. Then transplastic plants accumulate about 200-fold more proteins compared to transgenic one. So transgenic means agrobacterium mediated transformation, and transplasmic events generated from plastids. So this one transplasmic, this one transgenic. So you should aware of this one. And plastid encoded proteins are very highly stable and functional. How it's possible? Because these are all prokaryotic in nature. So then its machinery is very simple. So protein are very stable if you go for plastid transformation, because that protein folding or modifications are not so required if you use plastid transformation. But if you use nuclear transformation, so plant system is very complex. Specifically, that nuclear genome is very complex. Many genes are involved, many things are involved. So then that results many changes in proteins after synthesis of proteins at post-translational level. So here we are using plastid transformation. So post-translational events are very much minimized. So that's why it's stable and functional. And transplasmic plants can be used as biofactory or production of novel and valuable compounds. And in future, transplasmic products can be that edible fruits, salad, like already seen earlier that already some leafy vegetables can also be targeted, and edible fruits that could be potato or other things, potato, tomato, like that. And another approach, that viruses can produce very high level of foreign proteins rapidly, since virus replication is very high and rapid. Viruses can also be modified as biofactory to produce pharmaceuticals. So some companies are using viruses, and generally virus vectors are all patented one. So many companies are already get license, and they are using exclusively for production of some antigen antibody. And nuclear transformation, only drawback is it's not easy. Plastid transformation is not easy, and it has been reported only for few plants, maybe 10-12 plants. But virus can be easily manipulated. So, and very simple. Just we have to manipulate the virus genome with genes producing some novel proteins, and then just we have to infect plants with those viruses. And also infection is very easy. But plastid transformation, it's safe, but it's not so easy. But plastid transformation is well established in tobacco, and particularly in Solenaceous plants. So generally nowadays many companies using that Solenaceous plant, specifically that tobacco, to produce some novel plants, and some other like tomato, potato, it's easy. So that can be used. So these are all about my presentation. So if you have any query, questions, then you can ask. So now it's over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. This was a very nice presentation. Now, the participants, please unmute your. And if you have any queries, please interact with Dr. Ajay Singh. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, a very nice presentation, sir. I have one question.
Yes.
When there is a accumulation of product
Yes.
in the chloroplast, maybe when you express the gene in chloroplast, so where this additional product gets stored? Is it in chloroplast or it transported outside the chloroplast?
No, it's synthesized in the, but it's transported into cytoplasm. Ultimately,
So is there any specific signal protein you have to code with your vector, or naturally it will take outside the chloroplast?
No, generally we include one that after synthesis that
Okay, okay.
this is the
So,
protein, then you have to proteins.
Okay, okay, sir.
Both way. Either we can entirely we can express the chloroplast, or then or maybe
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello.
yes, yes.
Sir, I'm from Navi Mumbai, Mrinalini here. Sir, I have a query. Like few years back, I heard about banana vaccine. So, what kind of process is used for developing a banana vaccine? I think the product was insulin for banana vaccine.
Because for production of insulin, it's like plastic transformation is already being used for
Okay.
production of insulin.
Okay. So, sir, banana we eat it directly, right? So,
Yes.
and in case of brinjal, we have to cook the brinjal. So,
No.
in the process of cooking,
Yeah, but some like varieties, so we can eat raw also, or very light cook.
okay. Because in the process of cooking, it might happen that we might lose the, activity of the vaccines that we have or the antibodies on the antigens, because, heat, they should be heat stable, not heat labile.
Yes.
These things should be also considered, right, sir?
Yeah, for brinjal, but if we if we get not so mature, some tender kind of things, fruits,
Okay.
in salad also.
Okay, but sir, these kind of vaccines, or if we talk about brinjal or potato,
Yes.
these should be available readily in the market, or it should be limited to a specific, market area, because everybody cannot eat this, right? Only the people who need it. So how will be the availability, or how will be the marketing of this product?
Marketing, because so far nobody likes potato.
Okay.
But only thing is, if we expect anything in potato, and potato needs to be cooked,
Okay.
so then it's very difficult to get stable protein.
Right.
But some other novel products, those are heat labile, so that can be produced.
Right. Sir, and like BT brinjal, does it have any backlogs, or, what we say? Like BT brinjal was not accepted.
No, actually
Industry.
many rumors are there, because that toxin protein doesn't affect humans, because
Okay.
system is entirely different. Insect,
Okay.
gut enzymes and all those things are entirely different. So I think some rumors is spread by some that all political issues mainly.
Oh, okay. So there is politics in biotech also.
Yeah, but like for this one, but some salads, it can be, if you are targeting some vaccines, edible vaccines in some,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Right,
can
sir.
be,
Right, sir.
yes.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
so just I want to add something here. So in Bangladesh, they have given the permission for the BT brinjal.
No,
Okay.
India, I think in India also now we have permission.
No, they have given the permission, but not for the, they have given the permission for the confined pit trial, not for the open. But in Bangladesh now, it is spread all over.
You see, its coverage is very huge. Now,
Yeah.
almost around 85 to 90 farmers are using BT cotton.
Yes.
Maybe, but BT brinjal is still is in the initial phase, I think.
Yes.
Yes, BT brinjal.
So talking about BT cotton,
Yes.
it is said that the seeds are sterile of the plant that we get. So what is the case? Because farmers again have to take the seeds from the company. So it is really costly for the farmers, because we can't put them in debt. So is there any other way? Because I have heard that the companies that
That's the thing.
produce these BT seeds, they have some gene targeting in which they make sure that the seeds are sterile. Like sterility in the sense, when we get the plant and the seeds that are produced, those seeds are sterile. So the farmers cannot reuse the seeds that are given by the plant.
So actually, that is the strategy of seed company because
Exactly, sir. So this is very wrong, sir.
they modify in such a way that after
Right,
one
right,
year,
sir.
seed will not be viable.
Right, sir.
To get again fresh seeds.
Right, right, sir. Right, sir.
So they put
So,
some
sir,
gene for getting that kind of things.
right. So, sir, we biotechnologists, we are working for the well-being of the humanity. And if these things keep on happening, then people won't rely on biotechnologists or anymore, because I have heard many people saying that biotechnologists have done this, that. So this is a very much drawback, sir, of what scientists are working at their level and what the companies are doing at their level.
Actually, that BT Cotton, like Monsanto or some other company are holding all the rights. So they are manipulating or they are doing research in such a way that if farmers are getting seeds.
Right,
So
right,
after
sir.
one generation, they cannot reuse that seeds.
Yes, right,
So
sir. Right.
farmers again and again reuse, then what will they do? That
So that is also true, sir. But the farmer is going in debt, no, sir. That
yeah.
is, so we have to care for our farmers also. If you are in agriculture biotechnology, we have to look after that also, sir.
Yeah, because that BT Cotton or something, they have like all rights.
Okay,
Those companies are having all rights. So
okay,
some
okay.
other research institution cannot do many things. They cannot manipulate because all some patent issue will come in middle. So otherwise, ICR is very huge institute. ICR can do many things.
Okay, okay,
With
okay.
some limitation, we cannot get. Then we have to face many legal issues in that.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
That's why that's a problem.
Right, sir.
Some company like Monsanto or some other big company, they are taking advantage of that one.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so just I want to add something here. Mrs. Mrinalini,
Yes, sir.
the private companies, they are the commercial people.
Okay, okay.
So once they sell their products and if turn over there, then what they will do?
Right, sir. That is also very true.
Another thing is that whenever you are using the BT seeds or the BT cotton, your yield level is also going to increase.
Right, right,
Saving
right.
the money also. Or whenever
Right, sir.
required, near about to take a 20 or more than 20 sprays. Now
Right, sir.
4 to 5.
Right, sir.
That is the ultimate benefit, no?
Right, right, sir.
Whenever there is the ultimate benefit, so that time you have to pay for that.
Right, right, sir.
Otherwise, once you have developed the technology and if you are not utilized commercially, then what is
Right,
the
sir.
technology?
Right, sir. Right, sir. So this is the getting into the market, sir, because as student, what we learned,
Yeah.
so I wanted to just clarify my doubts, sir. That is why I asked.
Yes, yes, okay.
This is the process of getting into the market and knowing the market, sir.
Yeah. Sir, there are some questions in chat box. So this is from Dhanashri. Dhanashri, can you listen me? Dhanashri?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ask your question.
Sir, what were the difficulties or problems you faced during brinjal transformation by the chloroplast technology?
Just we are talking about what are the problems.
Yeah, problems or the difficulties, like how many trials you had to take, or while tissue culture transformation, what were the problems you faced during that, like callus formation or gene transfer, or how much time it took to transfer the particular gene in the plant, that I'm asking.
Yeah, because eggplant it's it's solenesis. It's not so difficult, but it almost takes at least 6 months to get transplasmic events, and for this one plastic transformation, we should have that gene gun. So that's very expensive. So that's another thing, that another challenge. Everyone cannot afford to get gene gun.
So is there any alternative for gene gun, like if there is a barrier of money issues, like if we are not having funds, so what is another option for ballistic gun method? Is there any, or like we have to follow the same one?
No, I think there is no any alternative because nowadays some private companies selling some local kind of gene gun, but that's not effective because in local market we can get around in 4-5 lakhs gene gun, but that's not effective. And only gene gun method is can be used for penetrating uh, that vector into plastic genome because that has to pass to that plasma membrane, then has to go to cytoplasm, and then that has to go to plastic membrane. So that's why that ballistic method is required. There is no any alternative for
Okay.
ballistic method.
Okay, sir.
Or
So one more question, sir. What are the examples of the compounds which are already developed or already in as a commercialized as pharmaceuticals or provitamins or biopolymers by this chloroplast technology?
yeah, already some vitamin A, provitamin A, and then insulin, and some HIV vaccines. All these have been produced, and some companies already producing this one.
Okay, sir, but which plants are used or which crops are targeted in this thing?
Tobacco.
Tobacco.
Yeah,
Okay.
tobacco transformation is very easy, and efficiency is also very around 70 to 80% efficiency in tobacco.
Okay.
So all companies are using tobacco system for either a plastic transformation or virus-based system. They are using tobacco because tobacco is very easy.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, another question. I think in chat box. I think there is no more question in the chat box. Yeah. How to identify BT brinjal?
How to identify BT brinjal?
Yeah.
Yeah, some molecular techniques are there. So just simply they can do PCR or just normal PCR. They can amplify because that will amplify that CRY1 gene or whatever it is CRY.
Yes, sir. So there are the variations. I would like to add something here. So basic technique, once you go through that, that is the antibiotic test is there. So that is a very preliminary test. Whether it is antibiotic test, it is a positive or the negative, then we would have to decide whether it is a BT or non-BT. Another next step, it is a PCR test. So just sir has elaborated this. Another next step beyond this, if you have to identify the copy number, then you have to go for the southern blot analysis.
Yes. For copy number, then southern is required.
Then again, if you have to go estimate the protein content, then again you have to go for the ELISA.
No, but why we go for southern? Just we have to identify whether it is BT or it's not.
Integrated or not. Whether it is integrated or not.
No, copy number is different things.
Yeah, copy number is
Don't worry about copy number.
Yes.
Already products are there, so that means that will be single copy.
Yes.
That's why it's functional. If it's multiple copies, so there are many chances of getting a product is not functional.
Yes.
So if you're already in the field or in the system, that means already it is in single copy.
Yeah, but the thing is that there some crops they are the BT, but sometimes even if you see in case of the cotton it is happening. So that means even if it is a BT, but there is no expression of that particular gene.
Yeah.
What would be the reason behind that?
No, either that is not BT, so that's why it's not not showing any not killing insect attack, or maybe some
Level of expression, gene expression, level of gene expression.
or maybe some some effects are there, like position effect is there, or pleiotropic effect is there. So in that case, that will not be functional. If so, or maybe some proteins are not functional. So there are many issues.
Okay.
Not necessary that if you are getting that amplification in PCR, so plant will be functional. It's not necessary. Then you have to check whether that protein is functional or not.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how we can physically identify a transformed brinjal?
Transformed brinjal.
Yes, sir.
Typically.
Physically,
Physically, yes, physically, because we are not making any physical changes, right?
identify like if you are targeting some insect resistance or something like that, or if you are targeting some GFP or some other kind of genes. So like if you are targeting insect resistance, don't just you can see you will differentiate which one transgenic or which one is not transgenic, or which one is transplasmic or which one is not transplasmic.
Okay, 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 sir. Thank you. Sir.
In insect attack or like that.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Things we cannot identify.
Right, sir.
So
Okay.
GFP also we need to have we need to expose leaves under UV light. Then only we can identify whether GFP is there or not.
Okay, okay, okay. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Uh, we cannot identify.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So
Thank you.
another question is in the chat box. What are the basic facilities required to establish the product to be obtained through the plastic transformation? Means, I think you want to explain what are the means laboratory setup and all these things. What are the basic facilities required to establish the product or to obtain through the plastic transformation?
Okay, so for plastic transformation, we should have like a gene gun. That's all that very much required, and some other like other things in molecular biology, like we should have PCR machines or some other routine kind of things. That is all required for routine molecular biology lab. But we should have a gene gun. That's necessary.
So another question is that BT brinjal can damage liver, BT immunity. Yeah, BT brinjal can damage liver, heat immunity. So it's a political issue or it's a major disadvantage of the BT brinjal. So the news came into the India today
Yes,
on
yes.
January 17,
Uh-huh.
2011. So BT brinjal damaged the liver.
BT brinjal damage?
The liver.
No, that's all rumors. No, it will not damage liver. How it will damage liver? Because that cry protein not specific or not not target human system. That's that mode of action is entirely different in insect and in human system. So that all rumors spread by some seed companies or some that these are all like some companies selling all insecticide pesticides.
Yeah. There is a lot of rumors also there because the nature of the diet, particularly for the BT brinjal, so it was a lepidopteran insect and it is totally based on the pH, body pH.
That's based on pH, so that doesn't match with our system.
Yes, it doesn't match in our system. So there is a question from the Hanumanta Vadekar sir.
Yes.
Vadekar, yeah. Can any unexplored business potential products be disturbed?
Pardon me, sir, I could not get.
Yes. Vadekar, Dr. Hanumanta Vadekar.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you list out some unexplored business potential product which can be taken as an entrepreneur activity by these undergraduating students after the successful?
Some unexplored product?
Yeah, which can be targeted as a business after their completion of degree.
For plastic transformation is generally here some expertise is required. So generally for beginners, we propose that just they can generate that tobacco plants without any modification, just selection marker or something, and without any specific targets for beginners.
Mr. Vadekar sir, So this is the one technique.
Yeah,
So
it's,
this technique we have to utilize.
Yeah, I got it. But just I want to have some, if any unexplored area which students can take up, because it is a very primary thing for any businessman to identify the correct product. So I want to know from the sir, is there any ongoing work or unexplored product which can be think of by some students?
unexplored product because you can target any product. You should have only gene for that product. If you have gene for that product, then you can target. No problem. But
Sir,
if
sorry,
you have
his
gene,
question now I got his question because in take home message you have mentioned here last one, that is viruses can also be modified as a biofactory to produce a pharmaceutical. So
yes,
in which pharmaceutical products we can target particularly?
for virus system,
Yeah.
yeah, that they are targeting for insulin production.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So any questions from the staff side or the student side?
So here just I want to add something. So plastic transformation and that agrobacterium or nuclear transformation, main advantage is like GM kind of issue, because that plastic transformation involves egg. We target egg or female reproductive parts, not pollen. That because that chloroplast is not present in pollen, only present in ovary. So that is advantage. And whatever we are getting transgenic or that gene goes to in pollen. So and pollen, when pollen disseminates, so that uh, may contaminate other things. So then there is issue may arise regarding like development of superweed or like that kind of things. And if you are targeting some bacterial genes, so and if you are using agrobacterium mediated transformation, and if that goes into some streams, river or in kind of things or in soil, so then that native bacteria can also be infected, and they can develop some resistance against some diseases. So in that case, plastic transformation is very helpful and beneficial. But only limitation is it has been extended only in a few crops or in few plants. Like so far, hardly 15 plants have been targeted using this one. And so far, rice or monocrop plants are we are not so successful, because in rice or in maize or barley, we are not getting homoplasmy. Only we are getting heteroplasmy. Only few chloroplasts transform, and that's why we don't get fertile rice or wheat or barley. So that's another drawback, and scientific community working on it. So that's all I want to say.
So I think if there is no any question, then I am very much thankful to Dr. Singh sir. I think last 10 to 15 days he was busy in his own preparation. And in spite of that, he has given very much good time to us, and he has shared his experience regarding the plastic transformation. No doubt, dear friends, so there are the number of techniques, particularly in molecular biology. So whenever you want to establish the entrepreneurship, so first you have to learn what are the different techniques are there. Once you get expert in that particular technique, then how to convert it into the entrepreneurship. So that is your skill. That is your art. But first one is that you have to know the technology. And just I think Dr. Wadekar sir has rightly pointed out that what are the different products we need to target it. Because once you have decided that, so I want to hit this and this particularly, then only you can adopt the technology. So in that line, I think Dr. Singh, they have thrown the light on all these issues and what are the different benefits, because you already know what is meant by agrovacterial transformation method, what is by nuclear based transformation, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. But the plastic transformation is very much stable inheritance also. And here also given the some of the advantages like that. So there is no need, so there is no chances of the development of super weeds and other pollution. So whatever we are facing problem right now. So just this type of the technology, once you adopt it and you start to develop the entrepreneurship, it will be definitely helpful for all the students as well as the entrepreneurs. So in that plan, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Singh sir. He has given the very much time to us. He has interacted with the people also. He has interacted all the participants also. So I'm very much thankful to Singh sir for the giving your valuable time, and I also thankful for the patient listening to the all participants. So before end of this, so there are two announcements is there. So first one is that, so yesterday we have given the enrollment number to all participants. So first one you have to give the enrollment number, that is a PBC like that 111, and then we enter your name. So that will be very much useful for us to admit you into the next lecture. Second is that we have given the feedback form. So yesterday we received near about the 90 feedback forms, but 6 are also still missing. So I request all, because your evaluation and finally the distribution of your certificate is totally based on your feedback form. So I have given the link now only. So you give the feedback form. And another thing is that we are going to announce one here, the Best Learner Award. So we are give the Best Learner Award, or these are the Best Participant Award at last. So you try to interact as much as possible so that we can give the award to these fellows. So these are some of the announcements. So yes, anybody want to say something? Mr. Samir. Mr. Samir, you want to say something?
No, sir. I asked the question before only.
Okay. Yes. So I think with this note, we'll stop here and we'll meet tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
At 10 o'clock. Okay? Thanks for the patience listening.
आज कर लूँगा सर. हाँ, yes.
Okay then. Thank you, sir. Ajay Singh, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, bye.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, Singh sir, we'll stop here. And thank you for giving your valuable time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Okay. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.